Alright, maybe I shouldn't have done this, but I can only blame Reese for helping me. But we just bought a new car, and it's kind of similar to the one that I had prior. This one is the MR2 AW11. Alright, so I've bought an SW20, and that's what I've had for the past few months, and I'm currently dealing with a timing belt issue that I'm going to have to pony up and get done, because I can't do it myself because I don't have an engine hoist. But what we've just bought, what I've bought with my friend Reese, is the AW11 MR2 opposed to the SW20, so now we're sharing an AW11, and it's an automatic transmission, but my SW20 is manual transmission. A lot of fun, definitely prefer the driving of the SW20, but the AW11 comes with a lot of unique quirks, and honestly, it's my preferred body style. If only we could get it right with the SW20, but internals are just not there. Plus, AW11 doesn't have ABS, it doesn't have power steering. These are things that the SW20 does have. Other things that I've noticed, well, needs new speakers and a few other things. A lot of stuff cracks on this car. I'll show more. So, I have it running right now. It has a bit of an idle issue, but I think it's something that we're gonna deal with. First thing to notice here is that the paint is going, but I do love this badge opposed to the normal Toyota badge. It's gonna need a little bumper action, but you know, in the grand scheme of things, that's not too much to talk about. Came with these really nice wheels. Loving that. Even better, these fat tires. They're not crazy fat, but they're up there. And really, like, the biggest draw here for me is that the body is very much undamaged. I've looked at a lot of these AW11s on Facebook Marketplace, on eBay, and all the like, and it's generally not looking so great as far as dings, but more importantly, just the fact that a lot of the body has some serious damage beyond repair. So we'll get into what's in here. Left-hand drive opposed to the other MR2 that I have, so this is an American one. And we'll go ahead and get in here for the interface. So this is kind of what you're expecting to look at. You got the e-brake light, and really there's not a whole lot of other lights. In here though, it's kind of dusty, but it kind of gives you controls as far as, honestly, I don't even know, but there's the automatic transmission. There's a second seat. Not a lot of space, but hand for reference. There's a little bit of space behind the seats. The sunroof is not power, which makes sense. It's from the 80s. Looks like we got a little bit of a loose spot here. That's gonna need some fixing, but sunroof can come off pretty nicely. Then we got this little area here. I think it's a nice little interface, to be honest with you. Nothing crazy, but also nothing awful. And here in the center, what I really like, although it's all scratched up, it says Toyota MR2. What came with the car is a little plastic that goes in the back, but those tend to break, so definitely gonna have to order a new piece for that. This is in nice condition. We'll go ahead and open up the engine. So I'm gonna have to hold this door because actually the mount for it is sitting in there. It's just a metal bar. Toyota really didn't take a lot of time for that. But here we see I just went ahead and cut the audio here. It's really, really loud, and I'm not gonna make you waste your time listening to me talk about this engine and you can't even hear. Alright, well, you can hear this. There's a little bit of rust in here for the suspension, and another issue is that the positive part of the battery is not looking super great. All of my lights work, and what I think is real nice is that there's not any weird smells or liquids. Bright and early, ladies and gentlemen, we got the Reese Man. And of course, the MR2. So since I saw you last, I cut off all of my hair. But, so today we're working on the MR2, and the first thing we have to address is poor connection to the battery. So here in the battery, we're having an issue with, look, the previous owner like fucking zip tied the battery, and it definitely moved around a lot. So we have this issue where this is all worn up because it's been pulling a lot, so car won't start anymore. It's the funniest thing. We got it back and it literally just stopped starting. All right, so it's running now, I guess, and we don't know how. So I want to take y'all through what driving the AW11 is like right now. First of all, the little features it has on the sides instead of handles is really cool because you only got your blinker here. But we have this idle problem that we're working on fixing today. Obviously we need to fix the battery, but all in all, it's a real nice little setup. Every time you look out the back, it's like trippy sets of colors. It's really amazing. We still have both the sun visors, which I think is rare with really any Japanese car, but well, I guess it was made in the States. But regardless, this is kind of like what we're looking at, what it's like being in the car. So this is what it's like driving. I'm not a fan of the blue stitching on the steering wheel, but the rest of it's really neat. Just kind of a cool little cruiser. That's the automatic transmission. It does get a little rickety when I step off of the throttle. We get a little bit of this idle situation again, but then when I start braking real good, it fixes the idle. Yeah, I don't know, but it's kind of like what we're looking at right now. Alright, so today's done as far as the car goes. Reese got stuff he gotta do, I gotta go do some stuff, and I just wanted to share like what we got done. So there was a zip tie around a vacuum hose to the exhaust, and I noticed that when I bought the car. That's actually really my first suspicion for what the situation was with the idle. I was like, well, if we're restricting air, that's probably going to cause leaking, or really, I mean, like, obviously if air is not getting to the exhaust, we're gonna have an idle issue. So after driving it around a little bit, we noticed that the idle went down a little bit. I think we found that there's a leak in the intake, so what we're thinking, what we want to try is throwing the stock intake in opposed to the Mishimoto intake that it currently has. Honestly, man, I love the way that the Mishimoto intake looks, but I mean, if rubber being the problem is what is giving us all this heartache, I mean, we just gotta take out the cooler intake. Honestly though, like, it's barely built to be in there. There's no space, and yeah, I think that's really what we're gonna have to try. But honestly, we made a lot of progress on the idle, and that was the big thing that we wanted to get done today. We bought some spark plugs, so I think that's what we're gonna be doing next time we work on the car. Should be pretty cut and dry, pretty simple, but definitely taping up that vacuum hose. Eventually we're gonna need to replace that vacuum hose because it's on its last legs, and messing around with the air intake I think might have helped, just getting the seals tightened in the right places, at least, you know, better places. I think it was a little bit loose. We noticed there were a lot of screws that were loose. Just making sure that we got all of that taken care of. definitely help with the idle. I mean, we were talking about it not staying steady and jumping up from about like 2 grand and more, you know, going up to 25 grand, or wow, holy shit, no, 2,500. And obviously that's no good for what we want. We want it to be, you know, doing its job. But we got it down to 1,800, and Reese said that before he parked it, it was staying steady at 1,500. So realistically, I think we're very, very close getting the whole situation done with this idle. And you know, for that being the reason why it sold for so cheap, I'm so glad that we took this opportunity. This has been like the dream car, you know, and I finally get to work on it, and I get to do a lot of this myself, and I gotta say it's very fulfilling, and I look forward to sharing what else we get done.
Dude, these are ours!